It's an evil world we live in.
All right, we go right here. Let's see here. Scott Galloway of the New World Order. All right, Scott Galloway, you guys know him. People have claimed that he's part of the manosphere, if you will. I'm not sure about that. There he is right there, Scott Galloway, for the people who don't know. Scott Galloway, he's kind of like a guy who claims he understands men. Because I don't know, is he a therapist, a therapist? I don't know what he's doing. I have no idea. I have never watched Scott Galloway video. I've never logged on to Scott Galloway's account and be like, let me listen to him. He's kind of like Jordan Peterson light, but sometimes he pivots and he wears dresses and shit. Like he was dressed up like a woman recently. I don't know much about him. He's a professor, a liberal professor. I don't know. He kind of like is somebody that is what did they call it? He's got into the manosphere and try to understand it, but then he tries to set people straight. I don't know what you call it. Anyway, Scott Galloway has this to say. Sometimes he's like a broken clock. So every now and then he's right. And Scott Galloway says he just said the quiet part out loud on this podcast. Marriage is now a luxury good. 80% of the top earners get married, and only 1 in 5 bottom men, ever do. Historically, 80% of women reproduce and only 40% of men. By the way, this is the stuff that really just burns me up. Because men in this space have been saying this for years. Like, not only that, I've been saying this for years. Like, this is common knowledge in this space. This is what I call they take the space and they cherry pick and then they put a plant, a celebrity, somebody anointed or appointed by them, and then they say the same thing. Meanwhile, I'm demonetized, and then they get up here and say it and then give him the credit. Dude, people been saying this for years that are manosphere adjacent or male content or MRAs or PUAs or MGTOWs or free agent lifestyle. That is the same shit, bro. They just cherry pick the same shit. I've been saying this for years. I said the elites will get married. Everybody else, you shit out of luck. I said historically, 80% of women reproduce, 40% of men. It's more common for women to have children by multiple fathers than it is men to have children by multiple mothers. Come on, man. That's common sense. But what happens? We're told that these men are out here having children by all these women. That's a small percentage of men. Most men don't have children at all. All right. Most men never procreate. Most men never get sex. But they'll make you believe men are out here just recklessly impregnating women, when it is the women that are more likely to have kids by multiple men and then still get remarried by simps, dudes that can't get women, Andrew Wilson niggas. So he says right here, marriage is now a luxury good. Duh. If left alone, we get Portia polygamy. A few winners take most of the mates. The rest get nothing. The recipe creates volatile, angry young men, and we're overproducing them. I mean, guys, my God. Like, dude, I'm tired, boss. I'm tired. Like, this shit is shit that I've been said and got demonetized and shot in the fucking face for this, bro. This is crazy. This is insanity. But I've been saying the same thing. I've been trying to say the same thing, and everybody's like, man, you a nihilist, or you got to believe men need hope. I was like, yeah, there's none. There's no hope, nigga. Y'all gonna be shit out of luck. Ain't no love out here for most of men.
Marriage is a new luxury item. 4/5 of people in the top quintile of income earning households get married. Only 1 in 5 men in the lowest quintile ever have an opportunity to mate. And unfortunately, that's more the average or more typical in history.
And also, he also says, because the volume is low here, so I don't even know if I want to play that. I'll just read it. What did I say that we practice? I said we practice polygamy. We practice polygyny or polyamory. On paper, we practice monogamy, but there's no such thing. There's no such thing as monogamy. We're temporary sexually exclusive at times. Some people practice short-term monogamy or long-term monogamy, but I said, if you have a woman with children from multiple men, she cannot be monogamous. She can be temporarily sexually exclusive for a period of time. She cannot be monogamous by definition. He's even agreeing, like all of the stuff I've been teaching, he's even agreeing. Portia polygamy. Women can have multiple partners for as long as they want, and then find a partner, and then that guy most likely is not going to have much sexual experience. And she's going to come in here with a high body count. He's going to come in with little sexual experience, and he's going to think he won. She's going to win on him for a little bit, and then she'll move on, divorce him, go to the next man, or she'll cheat on him. And like, that's what we're seeing here. That's what we're seeing here. And it's never going to end. It's going to get worse. And that's what he's saying. And that's what I'm saying. It's going to get worse. Marriage only goes for the top tier men and or people who need it at the bottom tier to survive off paper. The rest of the people in the middle, you guys are fucked. All right, you're going to have temporary marriages here and there. We're actually making it worse, pumping money from young to old while young men get judged ruthlessly on their ability to provide. Under 40s are 24% poorer than a generation ago. Boomers, 72% richer. Well, that's a problem you created because y'all created the lifestyle that the boomer can live forever. Life expectancy was pretty short. I would say 25, 30 years ago. All right. Not only was it short in terms of being functional, it was shorter. So you might say, no, people live till 80. Yeah, but they was fucked by 55, right? They was damn near crippled, blind, crippling, crazy by 55. So what we're seeing now is that people probably live slightly longer, but they're healthier. Like you'll be like, a woman will be like, I'm 70. And you'll be like, you don't look 70. People don't look 70. But 25, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, when a motherfucker was 55, they look old, worn down, beaten up, smoking cigarettes, weather beaten, cane, crawler. Okay. People was fucked up. But what happens is now we have the miracles of modern science. We have the youth pill. We have Botox. We have skincare routines. We have fitness. People are more fit. People are active. They're walking. You have hair dye. You have peptides, TRT, HGH. You have the youth pill. So people can live longer. Matter of fact, like you will see somebody and they be like, oh, this person died. But then you'll see a video of them 2 days before or a week before, and they look completely fine. You're like, how they dead? Like when people die, especially when they have a disease like a cancer or AIDS or HIV or something like that, a disease that eats and makes them waste, like their skin and bones. You know what I mean? They like 85 pounds pissing and shitting on themselves. That's how you think people look when they die. But a motherfucker will look regular, nigga, and then the next day they be dead, and they'll show you a video of him 2 days before doing an interview, and he was completely fine. And then the next day he dead. You like, because people don't waste away anymore. People are all hopped up in all of these hormones and peptides and TRTs and steroids and all of this shit, and they got their fucking implants and BBLs, and their skin look good. There was a dude that just recently died, and the nigga was all swole, right? So, with that being said, what's happening is we've allowed people to age gracefully and age and live longer functionally so that now they're still working. How many boomers still work? Lots of them. Whereas people in the past, they would be retired at 55, certainly 65 would not be working, but you can still find people working in corporate America, working in jobs, taking up jobs that young people should do at an entry level, OnlyFans, and they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Yep, hair transplants. You got always hair dye just for men. So people are living longer. Not only that, they're dating longer. As I keep saying, one of the things they're dating, they're like Claudia Jordan's age, trying to date. I'm still thinking of dating. They're Nia Long's age, trying to date. Like what? What? And they're still out here functioning well, in good shape, looking good. What does that do to young people? I've often said older people will not let younger people shine. Okay. Older people will not let younger people shine, basically because older people can't retire. You have a problem with older people always trying to jump up and take the attention away from younger people. Okay. I'm an advocate of letting young people breathe. Unfortunately, men, I'm still going to fuck your future wives. All right. But that is what it is. But older people, older women are now dating younger men. They're not letting the younger men go out there and then learn the dating game. They out here offering these younger 25-year-old men pussy, all right, to get they fucking back blown out because they're sexual deviants. But they won't let young people shine because people that are 50 and up, they still got to survive. They've leased their life. Their lifestyle is rented and leased. All right. They've lost a couple of homes to foreclosure. So they still out here surviving. They got no retirement funds. So they still got to be out here on Front Street. They still got to be up here competing. And what do? They have to tear the younger person down. Oh, you guys are young and dumb and full of cum and this and that. They have to tear them down and not let them shine, not pick them up. And they're also competing for their sexual partners, the men and the women. They're also competing in their job marketplace because there's a game of survival. And it says right here, this isn't just a dating problem. It's breaking household formation, robbing men of purpose, and quietly making society more unstable. When you have this idea that women can use their years, their fertile years, working, oversexing themselves, renting out their pussy, being roommates, backpacking through Europe, tramp stamping themselves with tattoos all over their bodies, living their best life, all up front, going poor and broke with nothing to show for it at the end. And then at 32, they supposed to jump out here and men are supposed to be serious and date them seriously for marriage. You're telling me the men have to wait, these young men have to wait from 18 to 32 for these bitches to get this shit out their system? That's what I'm hearing. So what are the men supposed to do? Not the men that y'all letting run through them, not the sugar daddies, not the Chads and the Tyrones and the Ray Rays. What are the 60% of men supposed to do while you live in your best fucking life? They don't have the advantages you do. They can't get into nightclubs for free and get food for free. They can't get these things. So they're supposed to just sit back and watch women do this. What's happening is, and I can't help this, the men are not doing that. They're like, man, fuck this shit. I'm not doing this. I'm not marrying these women. I'm not being a stepdaddy. I'm not dating with purpose. I'm not going to date at all. They're going to go to the junior college. They're going to step back and make money. They're going to play video games. Guys, it's that simple. You can't tell men to just wait out on the sideline from 16 to 32. While that woman jumps on OnlyFans talking about she used to have to sell her pussy for rent. All right. That's what she said, by the way. I didn't say it. She said she had to use her sex for rent from 16 to 32. Now she wants to turn ecclesiastical Christian. So what do those men do? Now, that the problem is that's going to be y'all problem. It ain't going to be my problem. But you have to solve for that. But then what happens is when I jump up here and I say this and then I give men an alternative, then you want me to tell them, oh, you need to come up with a solution. I can't, bro. I can't come up with a solution. I can give you some trade-offs. I can give you some options. Okay. But what I'm going to do is fuck their girlfriends until they get there. All right. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to pay them off and let you take care of them and babysit them. So then people are going to say there's a male loneliness epidemic. We need to solve it. We need to do this. We need to get these guys in therapy. Nope. Nope. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't give a fuck about none of that. But what these men hope is that they'll get married one day. And I've been telling you, it ain't happening. Economically, it's not going to happen. And he just said the same thing. This person said he said the quiet part out loud. Bullshit. That ain't the quiet part. I've been saying the quiet part out loud since the beginning. I got 8 years worth of content you can find here on the internet. For 8 years, I've been telling you. 9 years, 15 years on the YouTube. I was like, this shit is cooked. We need to, how we going to rescue the birth rate? And then y'all got Andrew Wilson up here trying to give y'all solutions. At least he gave us a solution. There are no solutions. Y'all would have to kill off the boomers, which I'm not advocating to do. Okay. Y'all would have to have get rid of capitalism, which is not going to happen. Y'all would have to stop these women from whoring from 16 to 32. Not going to happen. You'd have to get rid of feminism. Not going to happen because they don't think feminism is the problem. Hey, that ain't my problem then. Don't ask me for a solution if y'all going to ride with feminism. Go for it then. Hey, man, live this shit out, bro. So now what I'm finding is, and y'all can agree with this, when I said in 3 to 5 years, everybody's going to sound like CGA, in 3 to 5, what are we saying? Everybody basically is validating everything that I've said. They're validating everything that I said. I've been said this shit was fucked. FUBAR, fucked up beyond all repair. I wrote a second book about it. I said, this shit is fucked up. No, that gotta be something. No, okay, there's nothing. All right, there's nothing. All right, I said marriage will be for the elite. The middle class people, fucking forget it. You can forget it, bro. Every now and then, onesie, twosie, here and there, skis. Statistically, some people will still mate and marry. Most of the people are going to be white people or immigrants. Black people, fucking forget it, bro. Black people, if you don't live in the American South, chances of you getting married is slim to fucking none, especially marrying a black woman. It's slim. You have a slim chance. Even if you live in the South, slim chance. Slim chance guys, it's a slim chance that if you get married after 25, that you're going to marry a woman that has a kid. Like there's a higher chance if you marry someone, she's going to have a kid by somebody else, as opposed to marrying a woman that doesn't have a kid. If you're a black male and she's a black woman, you can fucking forget it. Like statistically it's low. Then there's a small chance that you're going to marry a woman that has a stable job and a degree in her own house. She's going to marry your bum ass. Slim the fucking none. She'll stay single. She'll stay single, especially if she has a kid. She'll stay single. She'll move in with another woman. You know how many older women I see? 30, 32, 35, 40 that have kids that live with another female roommate that's 40, 45, and 50. That's more common than you niggas getting married. Right? Right? It's more common. Now, the only problem we haven't solved for it is that most of these women are in financial strife. Okay? That's the problem they haven't solved. All right? Because by the time they get in that situation, it's because they're in financial strife. Now, like I said, good luck with it. I don't know what to tell you, bruh. But the data shows us this. And anybody might even say this, look, this isn't true that you'll marry a woman that has kids. Now, if you take Gen Z out of the equation, I want you to think about this. A woman almost is going to have kids in her 20s and 30s. Now, we see less women having kids in their 20s because early termination of pregnancy, birth control. They've been propagandized to focus on career and education and fucking around with whoever they want to fuck around with, as opposed to having kids. So if they're middle class and up, they're most likely going to pursue college and the cock carousel, travel, live their best life, and then they'll have a kid. Statistically, by the time it's excluding Gen Z, because if you take Gen Z, the number's going to skewer because half of them bisexual and don't have kids, and we can't take their early numbers now. But if we just take the millennials and Gen X, by the time a woman's 30, there's like a 40-50% chance she's already had kids. 30. By the time she's 30, there's like a 30-40% chance that she has a kid. By the time she's 40, it almost goes up to 60, 70, 80%. Then you have the women that don't have kids at all, which is a small percentage. Now, you take Gen Z in there, the numbers completely skew because they don't want to have kids or family anyway. But if you take that, I've had a person argue that to me, and I'm like, are you an idiot? Gen Z, Gen X, and millennial women don't typically have kids after 40. So if they're going to have a kid, it's going to be in their fertility window. They're not having kids at late 40s and 50s. So the odds are if they do produce a child, it's going to be in that 30 and 40 age range. You can't be this dumb. So you're talking about 30, 40, 50% by 30. Then by the time they get to 40, 80% chance, especially if they're black. If it's a black woman, 80% chance she didn't already have at least one kid by another man. So you're probably going to get with a woman that has kids. Now, Gen Z is going to throw this number off severely, but they're not even 30 yet. So it's kind of hard to tell what's going to happen. If she Mexican, she for sure going to have a kid by the time you meet her. And she 30, there's a great chance that she going to have a kid. Now, I'm not about raising other men's kids. I'm not about doing that shit, but y'all can do it.